I've been thinking, Kenland?
Kendom.
Kendom.
Kendom Land.
Really great. And the Kens really are just better at ruling than the Barbies ever were.
Did you watch the Barbie movie and see teachable moments for relationships? I did, and I'm excited to share this with you.
Tell me.
By the way, spoiler alert. For those of you who haven't caught up with the Barbie movie, pause now, watch the movie, and return to explore the depths of relationship lessons with us. In the Barbie movie, she explores the real and imperfect world. And as she does so, I discovered that the Barbie movie addresses 3 relationship challenges. First, understanding how we affect others. Barbie was oblivious as to how she affected others in the real world, which is a huge teachable moment in that we need to understand how we affect one another in relationships. The question is, how do our actions, even with the purest of intentions, impact others? Second, power struggles. In the real world, Barbie experiences power dynamics in relationships, asking the question, how do power and control shape our connections?
I have no idea.
And third, restrictive expectations.
Wait, what?
Or what I call the box. Barbie, both put in a literal and a metaphorical box, represents how sometimes we limit our partners in relationships. I'm going to talk about all these 3 relationship challenges with the use of the Barbie movie to help us out. Hi, I'm Dr. Pam. I watch movies and TV series with an eye of seeing many teachable moments, and I love bringing these moments to you. So let's get started. So here's Barbie when entering our world. She was happily clueless about the big effect she had on others. This brings us to our first profound takeaway that I mentioned, understanding how we affect others in our relationship. And one of the things that I found fascinating about this movie is that Barbie completely expected to be embraced and loved when she went into the real world.
Don't worry. Everyone really likes me and thinks I'm cool and pretty.
But then she discovered the opposite was true.
It's gonna thank me and give me a big hug.
Even then, it was horrible for us.
It was horrible? Why?
In our romantic relationships, let me share an example of how one person's behavior has nothing to do with their partner, and yet it can still affect them.
It doesn't affect you, but it affects me.
An individual's general mood and outlook on life can influence their partner's emotional state.
Why are you being so negative?
And a big challenge that I hear all the time is that when one partner is not contributing to the collective needs of the household.
Here, I can't do everything. I can't cook and clean and wash.
You know, like making decisions or prioritizing, what to care for in the home. All of these things will have an impact on your partner. These examples that I just shared with you demonstrate that even behaviors that seem very individual can have a ripple effect on our partner, affecting emotional well-being, social dynamics, and overall relationship health. In the movie, Barbie is oblivious about how she affects Ken.
Wow.
You can go now.
And while in the movie they are not romantically involved as Ken would like, we still need to be mindful as to how we affect each other. But obviously this is more important in our romantic relationships. I hear people say often the phrase, "It's not about you."
It's not about you.
It's not about you.
Is you don't get it. It's not about you.
Or why do you have to make everything about you?
You have to make everything about you.
And perhaps a different way to think about it some of the time is that it's not so much that it is about the other person, but it affects the other person.
Wow, that's deep. Really deep.
So second, let's talk about power and patriarchy. In the real world, Barbie sees and experiences power dynamics in relationships.
Everything is backwards here. Men look at me like I'm an object. Girls hate me. Everyone thinks I'm crazy and I keep getting arrested.
This teaches us something very important, how we have power over each other. It's not always obvious or on purpose, but it happens a lot. how do power and control shape, shift, and sometimes shatter our connections?
I don't really have any power in this relationship.
Barbie and Ken experience the real world and then come back to Barbie Land. Barbie had the power in Barbie Land. They return and Barbie discovers that everything looks different in Barbie Land.
What happened here?
And this is Ken's takeaway from the real world.
Everything exists to expand and elevate the presence of men.
Now they confront each other.
This is my dream house.
No, this is no longer Barbie's dream house. This shall henceforth be known as Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Ken shows his power.
Buckle up, babe. Because Barbie Land is now Ken Land.
And now here we see Ken push back on Barbie, and it all comes from hurt.
Century City because we failed them.
No, you failed me! Out there, I was somebody. And when I walked down the street, people respected me just for who I am.
He didn't feel respected in Barbie Land, and of course, he didn't because there was no shared power. And then he tells Barbie how he felt.
This is my Mojo Dojo Casa House. It's not Barbie's Mojo Dojo Casa House. How's that feel? It is not fun.
The thing is here, while I understand that this movie is talking about a patriarchal society, I'm talking about the concept of power over in relationships. Power dynamics in relationships manifest in various ways. It could be economic, one person earning significantly more than the other. It could be emotional, one person being emotionally dominant or manipulative. It could be intellectual, one person assuming superiority due to education or knowledge, or even social, one person having higher social status and significantly more influence. When one person has too much power in relationship, the person with less power often experiences an erosion of self-worth. I heard a very successful woman say once that they felt like they had to make themselves small to make their husband happy. She was very, very successful. So it is possible that the dominant person might stop trying to improve themselves, which will hurt the relationship. Over time, both can become resentful and distant. When one partner controls the finances, the other person might feel trapped, dependent, and unable to make independent decisions. This can lead to the dominant partner potentially feeling burdened and the subordinate partner feeling powerless. And the thing is, in the Barbie movie, when Ken had the power, he was very unhappy.
It was hard-running stuff. I didn't love it.
But he also didn't want to feel this.
But Ken only has a great day if Barbie looks at him.
I don't know who I am without you.
And in this clip, something very important happens.
I always thought this would be our house.
I think I owe you an apology.
Huh?
I'm really sorry I took you for granted.
This clip shows them laying down power, showing authenticity, and Barbie realized how she affected Ken, which was our first lesson. In therapy, when a couple recognizes how they affect each other, it is such a beautiful moment. And finally, let's talk about putting people in a box and why it benefits everyone to let them out of the box. I'm talking about how, as a couple, we can easily put our partner in a box. Ironically, Barbie comes neatly packaged in a box while simultaneously putting women in a box. A literal one for our plastic friend here, but a metaphorical one for the rest of us in our relationships.
Love it if you could just get into that giant box. Get into the box and you'll go back to Barbie Land.
Although in this clip they try to get her to go back in the box so that her being in the real world does not cause chaos, and for a multitude of other reasons. However, when I was watching this movie, I thought about the metaphorical box in relationships, romantic relationships, which can often be an unspoken set of limitations or expectations we impose on our partner. So think of it this way. We can put our partner in a box when we hold them to past behaviors, even though they may have changed. Maybe we don't trust that change. Maybe we're frightened to trust that change. It is essential to remember that every individual is an ever-evolving entity with changing desires, beliefs, and passions. Recognizing, understanding, and nurturing this growth in ourselves and our partner, we can foster a relationship that's dynamic and fulfilling and truly in tune with each other's individual journey. Avoiding the box means fully embracing the full, vibrant spectrum of our partner's well-being as well as our own. So thank you so much for watching. What do you think of these concepts? Did you pick up on these things in the movie? And what did you think? I look forward to reading your comments, and I'm sure everybody else will too. See you soon.